It's a beautiful day for a movie review, a beautiful day for a review. Would you watch mine? Could you watch mine? Won't You Be My Neighbor is the highly anticipated documentary on Fred Rogers, the television and cultural icon whose show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Oscar-winning 20 Feet from Stardom director Morgan Neville presents a fascinating insight into Rogers' life and his career, but mostly this film is about the ideas and ideals that Rogers stood for, with kindness being the most important of them all. Neville touches on all aspects of Rogers' incredible journey from a young seminarian in the early days of television to a media phenomenon, some more in-depth than others. Rogers' burning desire to fulfill the emotional needs of young children and use TV to do so is a connecting link throughout the 90 minutes of Neighbor. Carefully chosen clips from the vast archives of both the show and Rogers' personal collection, combined with new interviews with wife Joanne, sons John and James, and former colleagues. Together they provide a look at this man who was mostly misunderstood and underappreciated by mainstream society throughout his life, and a person many would argue society is in desperate need of today. Won't You Be My Neighbor avoids the temptation of being preachy, yet we learn through his actions and beliefs that Rogers was one of the most radical media figures of his or any other time. He defied convention when it came to religion, race, politics, and especially the rights of children. One of the doc's many standout moments is a gripping clip of Rogers testifying at a 1969 congressional hearing on PBS funding, single-handedly convincing lawmakers to give the network the $20 million it needed to stay alive. And the multiple clips of this grown man communicating one-on-one, soul-to-soul, with preschool members of his audience are both heartwarming and inspiring. The film also shows that Rogers was no pussycat when it came to the quality of other television shows aimed at kids at the time that were featuring loud, violent characters. He saw, even in the early days of the medium, that children were being taken advantage of by content producers and advertisers, a topic like many in Neighbor that are still quite relevant today. It's pointed out that Rogers and his meek, insecure puppet, Daniel Tiger, were one and the same, until an older Rogers became dominant King Friday. Won't You Be My Neighbor is not a straightforward, cradle-to-grave biopic of Rogers. Instead, this film is about what Rogers, or as one of his sons recalled thinking of him at the time, the Son of God, stood for, and how his message of the need of kindness, love, and understanding translate to today, a long decade and a half since his death. It's a unique angle that for the most part succeeds. Neville is a bit hesitant to shed light on the struggles Rogers faced once the TV show ended, and the ending of the film, while admirably turning the tables on tradition, is a bit abrupt and lacking the power of the rest of the film. But still, if you and your children grew up in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, you're going to find this to be one of the most meaningful and emotional movie experiences of the year. On the official LCJ report card, Won't You Be My Neighbor gets a B. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. For all of my reviews, check out lights-camera-jackson.com and follow me on Twitter at LCJ Reviews.